Hey, what is up, guys? It is Flashwing. Welcome to my April Fool's Day Q&A. I couldn't have probably planned this much worse to pick like the worst possible day to do what really is my first Q&A vlog of this channel. I promise that today's answers are going to be 100% honest and legitimate. There is not going to be any April Fool's BS. So if you were hoping that this was going to be like where I talk, this is a QA where I talk about how I'm quitting and out of the vlogging game, you might have to move on to somebody else. So first, thank you to everybody who submitted questions. Because I am still a growing channel, I don't necessarily have enough of a reach to be able to sort of go with a specific theme or anything like that. So the questions are kind of all over the place. And since you all took the time to post the questions, I am going to take the time to answer them. Wild Bill says, your race suit, you mentioned it was custom. Who is it made by? The race suit that I had custom, it is indeed custom made. It is a one-of-a-kind suit with the graphic design and also the fit. It is made by a company called Ballistic Apparel, spelled Ballistik. I will post their information in the description below. Jace, who does the suit design, including the graphics and also all of the technical aspects of the suit, is a local guy here in Phoenix, and he is a track racer. So the suits are being designed and being created by someone who actually tracks a motorcycle and has built in a lot of different characteristics of things that he would want to have in a suit. There's a lot of really cool, sort of smaller, detailed features that I will be bringing a complete review of the suit for you guys. I really wanted to get one more track day with the suit before I actually came to you guys with a review. There's nothing more annoying than someone who gets a jacket or gets gloves or gets a bike. Now that I've ridden with this thing for 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you all about how good it is. Is it worth the money? Absolutely. It is a custom fitted suit, and the difference with Ballistic compared to pretty much every other custom suit manufacturing company, on average, you're looking at about 24 to 26 measurements for most of your custom fit suits. Ballistic takes 39 individual measurements, and that's left and right. So I mean 39 measurements. So the suit is an even greater custom fit. There were areas that Jace discovered that were a little bit more sloppy in the suits that only took about 24 measurements, and so he added an additional measurement to this suit. There are a lot of other things, but just to give you an idea, that's one of the major elements. Is it worth the money? Absolutely. It's absolutely worth the money. Besides the custom fit aspect, it's made of high-grade materials, so it's absolutely worth the money. If you crash on the track or if you wear it on the street, it is going to be an invaluable piece of gear, in addition to the fact that it is also, since it is incredibly form-fitting, it's not necessarily going to provide, it's not going to be as cumbersome as some of the other pieces of gear that you might wear currently. All right, so armed legally, if you could have any one gun, would it be? I have this strange obsession with the Heckler & Koch UMP-45. I don't know what it is about that submachine gun. Every time I see one in movies, I'm like, oh my god! And if I have the opportunity to use one in video games, I'm sure that being a 45 ACP, fueled submachine gun, that thing is probably a handful to use. There's something about the UMP-45 that is just super awesome. There is actually a couple Heckler & Koch military style assault rifles that I really, really like and I would absolutely own, but unfortunately I just don't have the license or the money necessarily to do it. Matthew asks, what do you do for a living? And if money was no object, what kind of car and bike would you own? What I do for a living is not something I really talk about too much on this channel, only because what I do and where I work is kind of a household name. But I will tell you that I work in information technology and I deal with very big problems. If money was no object, what kind of car would I own? Right now, it's really between two different cars, the Pagani Huayra and the McLaren P1. Bob asked basically, what bike would I love to own, but probably would never buy? It would most likely be like one of the super expensive Ducatis, or even some type of an exotic Italian bike, like either like a one-off. It escapes me at the moment, but there is, I recall an episode of Top Gear where Tom Cruise discussed a motorcycle that was actually built specifically for him. I do not remember the name of the company, but something like that, or some type of a super exotic Italian bike would probably be something that I would own if money were no object. But at some point with a lot of things that I do, the cost to benefit is always really important to me. And at some point, some of these vehicles, whether it be cars or bikes, start getting really ridiculous. What gym do I go to? I go to Flex Fitness in Chandler, Arizona. Put Ryan's channel in the information below, but you have seen Ryan several times on my vlogs if you watch my vlogs. So Flex Fitness in Chandler, Arizona is where I go work out. And what are my fitness goals? There basically are a few major stages that I'm trying to achieve right now with my fitness goals. The first major stage is losing weight, because I started at 295 pounds in May of 2015. Literally today, April 1st, I had a goal set for 250 pounds, and I'm happy to say that I met that goal. So I am now down 45 pounds from when I originally started in May of 2015. I had several months of being plateaued at 265 because my diet was not up to par for cutting weight. It was perfectly fine for maintaining at 265, but I had to get through my thick head that I can't continue to eat the way I was eating and lose weight just because I'm exercising. So there's a lot of mental barriers that I've had to break down of my own in order to get the kind of results that I want. After the weight loss, and I'm talking about somewhere between 200 and 210 pounds, is when I'm going to start reevaluating what I'm doing diet-wise and supplement-wise, and I'm actually going to start focusing on building strength, because I need to be strong, because overall the goal is being able to ride competitively in local track events. So in order to do that, I have to have good endurance, I have to have good strength. So losing the weight is probably the first stage. Second stage is getting strong. I don't know, maybe after that doing something crazy like getting back into running or something like that. I used to love to run, but it just destroyed my knees, being 280 some odd pounds and trying to run a mile plus. Let's see, Logan West posted up, says he's currently taking the MSF course, but he wanted to know if he needs riding pants and boots. I'll be riding in the city like sub 35 miles an hour. I have a jacket, gloves, and helmet, but do I need pants? You need everything. That doesn't mean that you have to wear a one-piece suit, but even at 35 miles per hour, there's always the potential for something to happen. Now, one thing to keep in mind, especially with boots, is that with shoes, like we're talking tennis shoes, there is always the potential for the bike to fall on top of you. So if you end up in a situation where you're pinned underneath the motorcycle for any length of time, and if it even goes one step further where you're pinned, say, under the exhaust, you're going to want as much room between you and the bike components as possible to prevent broken limbs. Even at 35 miles an hour, you're still carrying a decent amount of energy, potential energy, in your own body and in the motorcycle. You don't necessarily have to get super crazy with gear. Most of my inner city riding here in Phoenix, I actually wear Kevlar lined jeans. Get whatever gear you can afford, and just understand that anything that isn't covered by motorcycle gear, be prepared to lose it. That includes your feet, that includes your ass, that includes your legs. So if you can get pants, get pants. Something is better than nothing, obviously. All right, guys, that's it for today. We're wrapping up today's Q&A. I'm sorry that this video was posted so late. I'm actually in the process of getting ready to go to Tucson for the Obsidian Anomaly event for Ingress. So I'll be bringing vlogs to you on Monday, most likely, from that event. So we're running really late today. Sorry for the late posting. I hope you guys enjoyed today's Q&A. We should definitely do this again. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Please like this video. If you like so far what you've seen, especially if you're a new subscriber, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And as always, we'll see you out there.